It is time to start season 2 of the Connor Bedard Project. On last week's episode, we simmed through the 2025-26 regular season in which the Blackhawks made a surprising playoff appearance. They forced 7 games against the Colorado Avalanche in the first round, ultimately bowing out in a blowout game 7. But now, with a new look top 6 oriented around Connor Bedard, Claude Giroux, with the addition of James Hagens in a big trade with the Boston Bruins, year 3 of Anton, Frondell, and a really well-rounded forward group, we as the Chicago Blackhawks are ready to make a real playoff push and not just make the playoffs by accident. We are going to sim through the regular season and hopefully make the Stanley Cup playoffs. We are going to sim through the regular season. If we get trade offers, we will stop the simulation. We will talk it out. We will evaluate. As we get closer to the trade deadline, we will rework our trade block. We will make moves as a team trying to push for the playoffs, unlike last year where we sold off a few guys going into the deadline. Now, as we go along, we are going to have moments like this where players are going to come up on waivers and trades are going to be offered, and we will stop the simulation to break them down. Okay. A second-round pick from the Lightning for a top 6 defenseman, a 4th, and a 6th. This is pretty good. I think we're going to do this and level up our asset. We are going to make this trade happen as well. We are going to get out from the last year of that $3.6 million of Andrew Mangiapane, get some extra mid-round picks, and hopefully leverage those picks later on in our franchise. Now, remember, we kind of made the playoffs by accident last year after selling off a few guys at the deadline, and that wasn't the expectation. But we are going to make a concerted effort to make the playoffs this year. Absolutely not. I will never, ever want Carson Soucy on my team, regardless if it's real life or in a video game. Now, we've come out of the gate a little bit slowly, 5-5-1 through the first month of the season, which is not great, but there is time. We came on strong after the deadline last year, and I do think the opportunity is going to be there again. Logan Stanley, get out of here. Again, we just got to hang around. I know that stat about American Thanksgiving, 70-something% about teams in a playoff spot on American Thanksgiving ultimately go on to make the playoffs. Give it time. I know we're not coming out of the gate hot. We got a lot of new faces. We got a lot of young guys trying to piece it together. It's going to take some time, and that's okay. I believe in this group. I think our forward group has a really solid chance to make a leap, and our defense should be better than it was last year. Things are not going well for your boy right now. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a little bit surprising considering the team we're putting out there right now and the team that made the playoffs last year. That's not a bad offer. I want to move on from Ryan Donato and give some of our younger guys an opportunity. A second and a third is not bad, but I also don't want to take away from the quality of our team as we try and make a push in the second half. So at least for now, we are going to hold on Donato, but we will entertain this. We'll entertain Bertuzzi. We'll entertain Burakovsky closer to the deadline if we are out of a playoff spot. Ditto Matthew Joseph as well, somebody who the Oilers signed in real life kind of out of nowhere, and I think might make the team, might not. I'll be curious to see. The Oilers have a very cluttered bottom 6 in real life, but this franchise, he's a really solid bottom 6er, somebody I would prefer to have on the 4th line than the 3rd line, but he has interest, and if we can get some extra picks going towards the trade deadline, that might not hurt. Last year, in the simulation. The Devils had a really rough regular season. They had Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, and Dougie Hamilton all on the trade block going into the trade deadline. And I very much would have entertained that idea, but I didn't want to defy logic. I wanted to put ourselves in the position the Blackhawks were going to be in this summer that is developing, that we are in the August of right now, so that I wouldn't have an advantage. Because trading for Jack Hughes, trading for Jesper Bratt, that wasn't on the table for the Blackhawks last year. Even though making the playoffs wasn't on the table for the Blackhawks last year either, I wanted to do the best I could to keep this as realistic as I could and operating the way an NHL team actually might. And the guys have started to pull it together down the backstretch here. Now, that's not great. Losing our starting goalie for a month and a half leading up basically to the trade deadline. No Spencer Knight. We have a really soft goalie room, and this is going to be an awkward position. Maybe let's see who's out there. Let's take a quick pause. We're going to stop the simulation, and we are going to go see if we can get a goalie in the trade market, because at 19, 17, and 4, we are not out of the mix, but we do need to upgrade that goalie spot. So let's see what we're working with overall. So without Spencer Knight, we have Soderblom and Louis Domingue. Louis Domingue, God bless him in the pork fried rice in the 2022 playoffs, but we cannot have him making NHL starts for us. I know we suffered an injury. That's unfortunate. Soderblom is not bad as a backup, especially in the sim, but let's see if we can make something happen as far as goalie goes, because I think this team just needs a solid backup. That's all we need. Okay. We might make a stab at Colton Ellis or at Alex Lyon, but let's see if there are any other prospect goalies or backup goalies we might be able to take a swing on. I kind of want to take a stab at Jacob Fowler, but you also run the risk of having two good goalies in Knight and Fowler. Fowler in the game at medium potential starter isn't as good as I think he is in real life, so we'll keep that in mind. Thomas Chabot. If we were ready to go, I would be all over this. Maybe at the deadline if we go on a nice little run after we trade for a backup. But Drake Batherson, also somebody I would take a shot on at that price point. Let's see what we can do. Brian Rust, Sam Girard. Freddie Andersen might be the move on a 1 year. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see. I want to see if we can get Freddie Andersen for a third from the Penguins. We get Freddie Andersen for the month of February. He gets the majority of the starts. Louis Domingue goes back to the AHL. And then Freddie Andersen backs up Spencer Knight for the stretch run. And we try and make the playoffs down the back half. Let's see if a third round pick is going to be enough to get this done. Nice. Okay. Now we have an opportunity to set our team up for success. We made the Freddie Andersen trade. He's a 1 year deal. It'll expire at the end of the season. I know he's old. I know he's got a lot of miles on the treads. I know it's a real roll of the dice to go to Freddie Andersen, who has durability issues, to ask him to make the amount of starts he's going to make between the middle of January and the beginning of March when Spencer Knight's expected to return. But as a team that is trying to make the playoffs this year, Freddie Andersen is going to need to step up for us in this interim period where we're without our best goalie in Spencer Knight. We don't feel great about Soderblom making all of those starts, and we cannot have Louis Domingue making starts for this team over the next 6 weeks as we try and get ourselves back into playoff position. We dug a hole in the first half, but we have an opportunity here over the next 6 weeks to get back into a playoff spot. And then by the time the trade deadline comes around, maybe we're ready to make another move or two. That's not bad. That's not bad. I would like Witherspoon, especially at that price point, just to. I don't think we need him, though. That's the thing. Witherspoon was really good for the Penguins last year. I don't think he's going to help us, though. Oh, Frondell got hurt. No. We are in trouble, guys. I'm not going to lie. We've lost our starting goalie. We've lost our third best forward, probably our most unproven but promising prospect, and we're going to need to go without him through basically what would be the start of the playoffs. If we make the playoffs, though, Frondell gets to come back and jump right back into the lineup, which is always a good feeling, but we got to make the playoffs for him to come back this year. I don't want to lose Claude Giroux. I want to keep Giroux through the year. I want to make the playoffs. I want to make the playoffs. I want to make the playoffs. And Levshinov gets hurt now. Oh, guys, we are just having too many injuries this year. We are getting killed. We need a good February here, guys. We're not terribly out of the mix in the Central yet, but if we're going to make the playoffs, we need to rattle off a couple wins in a row sometime in this next month, or we're going to have to sell at the deadline. I don't want to trade away Donato, Giroux, Bertuzzi, Burakovsky if I can help it. I want to have us ready to go right now, and it does not look like we are going to make this happen. You know, we're only 2 points back of third in the Central, but right now we are not stringing together winning hockey, and it is really disappointing. I'm just going to come out and say it. I expected better from this group. We went out and got Giroux. We went out and got James Hagens. We got Spencer Knight, a solid replacement in Freddie Andersen, and the team just isn't playing up to what I expect from them. All right, Spencer Knight's back a little bit earlier than expected. We can put him back in as the starter. Freddie Andersen gets to go back in as the backup, and we are going to give it our all down the stretch. All right, we're starting to get healthy. We're in a playoff spot. We are going to be in a war with Nashville, with Dallas, with Winnipeg, it looks like. Okay, we are a day away from the NHL trade deadline. We are in a playoff spot. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can have the month of March and the early April we're going to need to go on a run. Look at the stats there for Spencer Knight. Real quick, let's take a peek at how we're doing to this point. Bedard's at 88 points through, I would assume, 50-ish games. So let's see. Bedard has stayed healthy. He's at 88 points in 52 games. Outstanding. Teravainen's at 78 points, getting to play a lot with Bedard. Giroux at 70 points, over a point per game. The fall off starts after that, though, once you get to the second line. This isn't bad, but I expect more from Nazar. We got to get him some better wingers between him, Bertuzzi, Donato, etc. But Levshinov, Hagens only 21 and 63.3, not great. Goalie, real quick. I know Spencer Knight's having a good year. I mean, 23, 13, and 4, 923, 249. These are great numbers. Freddie Andersen was, I'm going to be honest with you, pretty dog water. 359, 890, 13, and 21. You know, if Spencer Knight's healthy, we are far and away in a better position than we would have been. But let's look at the standings real quick across the board and see. It is early March. We are 1 point back of second in the Central. We are only 4 points clear of sixth in the Central. Utah, after making the playoffs last year, has had a really harsh fall off. Nashville has bounced back nicely. Winnipeg has bounced back nicely. We are in direct competition with these three teams to get into the playoffs. Now, if we get in, we're going to have a date with Minnesota almost certainly. I do not want to fall into one of the wild card spots and run the risk of playing Colorado in the first round or run the risk of playing Edmonton in the first round because Edmonton is incredible in the sim. Edmonton won the Stanley Cup in the first year of the simulation. All right, let's set up our trade block real quick and see what we can do. Guys, it's time to lock in. Let's see if there's anybody out there who can make it happen for us on trade deadline day. Justin Falk, okay. Evander Kane, Ricard Raquel, Jonathan Drouin, DeBrincat. Should we try and bring DeBrincat home for 1 year on a crazy rental? Is that maybe the move? Vince Dunn, Zadorov, Dougie, AJ Greer. This is a pretty weak group. Wow. Pittsburgh. Brian Rust to the Islanders. Okay. I wouldn't mind trying to go get Zook. Or Coots. We don't need Couturier, though. Dursey, I would be interested in. Let's see what we're looking at here. So Levshinov, Rinzel. Okay, we have a clear need here on the back end, and Dursey's got 2x5 left. Let's see if we can turn. Let's see if we can turn a few of our prospects and a pick or two into Dursey. That might be enough. Prospect and a second for Dursey. Let's see if we can do a 2 and like a 5. Fuck. All right. I will give you a 2, 3, and that prospect. Always wanted Blake Coleman. Nick Schmaltz, that's a surprising one. Bert, that's our guy. Let's see what we can get for a 1. I like Witherspoon. I don't need him that bad. Logan Stanley, no. I like Zach Metza a lot in real life. I no interest now, no. Braden Pike, That's a guy I'm interested in, but not for a 1. I might have to go down a pick, a tier of pick. Oh, that's Nate Schmidt, not Nate Schmaltz. No. Spencer Stats for a 1. That's crazy. No, absolutely not. None of that is worth what I Absolutely not. None of that is worth that. Let's see what I could get for a 2. Witherspoon for a 2. I don't hate the idea of Bogosian for 1 year for a 2 and the extra picks. You know what? This is a little impulsive, but we're going to do this. We're going to bring in Zach Bogosian, and we're going to see if we can shore up the right side of our defense just a little bit and see if that can make the difference. It's a lot of crap. It's a lot of crap out there for, yeah. I think that's it. We'll bring in Bogosian, and I think that might be just what we do. I think that might be it. I would like to go get DeBrincat, but unless I can get an extension with him, I don't really want him. I don't want to give up a first for a rental, especially when we're not even really in a playoff spot. And if we add DeBrincat, I don't even necessarily think we're good enough to go on a deep run. So I think we're going to call it there on Zach Bogosian, and we're going to sim and see if we can make the playoffs. All right. We have to get to the 14th against the Oilers. If we are in a bubble spot on the last day, we will sim the game and watch the game and talk over it as we do. That's a nice set of wins back to back there for our boys. Overtime against San Jose and then to beat Florida. That's a 2 nice game winning streak there for our Blackhawks, who are making some noise. Now, they're not in a comfortable spot by any stretch. They are still very much in a playoff battle, but those are wins you got to have. They got to beat Vancouver. That's great. Montreal is a good team. Montreal is a good test for us as we try and bolster our team. We have a better record than Montreal right now. We win that game, that's great. Toronto, we beat them in the shootout. Okay, we look to be in okay shape with a handful of regular season games remaining. Not Giroux. Oh no. Frondell is back. We're going to have a chance. We're going to have a chance. Wow, Pete DeBoer out as coach of the Islanders after less than a full year. That's crazy. Okay, there's a conversation to be had now about what we do with Jeff Blashill after this year if we want to entertain the idea of Pete DeBoer, but that's a conversation for later. All right, guys. For the second straight year, the Blackhawks are going to the playoffs. This is the first year we have taken direct action and actually managed the roster throughout the course of the season. We've swung some trades. We are now in a position to actually make some noise in the postseason. It looks like we're going to be playing the Minnesota Wild in the first round. After that, maybe we get lucky, maybe we advance, and we're going to see what happens. The first round of the 2027 Stanley Cup Playoffs. Golden Knights, Jets, Oilers, Kraken, Avalanche, Stars, Wild, Blackhawks. And then in the East, Tampa and Detroit back in the playoffs for the first time in a while. Boston, Florida, Carolina and the Rangers returning to the postseason. And then Columbus, Toronto, Columbus returning to the first playoffs for the first time since the bubble playoffs in real life. We're going to go pop over to our lineup real quick to remind you guys what we're working with. We are rolling with Teravainen and Bedard Giroux, Tyler Bertuzzi, Frank Nazar, Burakovsky, Anton Frondell, Ryan Donato, Matthew Joseph. James Hagens got demoted to the fourth line, which I don't love, but I understand why the simulation does that with Oliver Moore and Sasha Boisevert. I like this forward group a lot. The back end's not great. I can just be honest with you guys. Korchinski, Levshinov, Vlasic, Rinzel, Kaiser, Bogosian. This is not great. Other than Korchinski, there's not a lot of proven talent here. Levshinov has time. He's only 21. He should continue to develop. Vlasic's a really solid 3. But this is undoubtedly the weak link of our team when you go group by group. I think we will have issues as far as scoring goes further down the lineup. All 4 of these lines have talent, but in the sim, it's not going to play out the way it would if this were an expected goals calculator. So I'm going to pull up the calendar. I am going to move where I am on the box on the screen, so that way when we're running the sim, you guys can see. After 1, 0-0. Matt Boldy gets the Wild on the board. Not great, not great. That is as dangerous a spot as can be, basically on the goal line. Come on, guys. We had such a good stretch run to make the playoffs. We survived the absence of Spencer Knight and Anton Frondell. Let's make our return to the playoffs worth it. Come on, guys. We're not doing great. We're being outshot 2-1 right now through the first 25-ish minutes of this game. We got to find some chances. We're on the power play here. Let's see if we can find one. As the power play ticks down, it doesn't look like we're going to find our equalizer. We get on the board, Connor Bedard, big power play goal. We are in a tie game almost through the halfway point of this game. Okay, we have come on strong since I talked about the shots on goal. We're maybe going, and Joel Eriksson Ek from in tight again on Spencer Knight. That's tough. We got to do a better job in and around the net front here, guys. Okay. 2-1 after 2. Not terrible. Let's see if we can find an equalizer and we can win this game. We haven't had our best game, but we've had some nice sustained pushes, especially in that second to get on the board. Come on, guys. I know you guys have a goal in you. Come on. We're really going to go the entire Claude Giroux. That's why you're here, brother. Veteran playoff experience. That's why Claude Giroux is on this team. It's been a while since he's been in a meaningful playoff series. I know him and Ottawa went this past year in real life. Disappointing for them, but that's a big goal for us. We're going to go to overtime in game number 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs in year 2. Does it get better than this? Sudden death. Can we find one? On the power play. Come on, guys. I know you've got this in you. Oh, and we trade power plays right back. No. We won Oliver Moore, our 4th line center. That's what we love to see. We didn't have our best game, but we stayed in it. We fought hard through the second. Giroux, big game tire, and then Oliver Moore to win it in overtime. That's a 1-0 series lead. It's time for game 2 on the road up at the Xcel Energy Center. I think that's what the Wild's arena is called. Let's see. What do we got, guys? What do we got in game number 2? You steal game 1 on the road. Always say a playoff series doesn't start till someone wins a road game, and we are in great shape stealing one on the road in Minnesota to start out. Let's see if we can go up 2-0 going back to the Madhouse on Madison and put ourselves in shape to advance early. Tentative. Okay. Very slow to start. Only 3 shots in total through the first 5-ish minutes of the game. On the power play, can we find another one after Connor Bedard in game number 1? No. Okay, we can't. That's okay. That's okay. We are having a much firmer control of the game so far. Kyle Korchinski, defenseman goal. Love to see it. Tyler Bertuzzi, that's 2. We are in really solid shape. We've got a solid grasp on this game early. We're out shooting them 2-1. Now, Minnesota will make a sustained push. That's always how these games go. The 2-goal lead is dangerous. We all know it's only the only lead more dangerous than a 2-goal lead is a 3-goal lead. But to be up 2 after 1 on the road in Minnesota, up 1-0 in the series already is as good a start as you're going to have. Can we extend it to 3 and give ourselves a buffer? Minnesota will make a push. The shots on goal are always going to be misleading. Teams down big are going to make concerted efforts and push back. We have to stand tall here. Can we survive the power play? Can we survive this? I know it's Kaprizov. I know it's Quinn Hughes. I know it's Matt Boldy. Joel Eriksson Ek gets Minnesota on the board, and we are going to be in for one. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. We know how good this Minnesota team is. They finished ahead of us in the standings. We're going to need to pull one out here, and it's going to be tough on the road as Minnesota really makes a concerted effort here in the second to get back level after being down 2-0. And Tyler Bertuzzi, his second of the game, puts our lead back at 2 and gives us a really solid chance to go back to Chicago up 2-0. Can we survive a Minnesota power play? They have so much talent between Hughes and Faber. We got that one through, though. That's solid. Kirill Kaprizov, you couldn't keep him off the board forever. You knew it was going to happen eventually. It's only one. Can we survive these final 10 minutes? Can we survive the final 10 minutes of regulation? We're probably going to need to find one. Even if it's an empty netter, we probably can't win this game 3-2. That seems like it's going to be a really challenging outcome to achieve. 3 minutes to go. Can we hold on to this lead? 1:30 to go. 1 minute. And we hold on the road in Minnesota, up 2-0, going back to Chicago. Let's see if we can go up 3-0 and put ourselves in position to go to the second round for the first time. Not Giroux. He's going to be out at least a month. Oh, no. That's so unfortunate. He's going to be out for at least a month. We are going to need all hands on deck to survive a Giroux absence for that long. He very well might not be back until game 5 or 6 of the second round if we can find a way to put this series away. That's disappointing. Giroux is having a good playoffs. He had a great regular season for us. Let's see what we can do, guys. Okay, we're off to a decent start. We get on the board. James Hagens, who's playing fourth line minutes for us. Daniil Yurnerov tries it back up, but we're on the board. We scored first. We get it. We gave it right back fast, but we are in okay shape. We continue to beat Jesper Wallstad and give ourselves a chance. 4-4 on shots on goal through 10 minutes. Love it. Frank Nazar on the board, 2-1. We are in business. Let's see if we can have a real mature home game number 3. It's very easy up 2-0 to let that game 3 kind of get away from you, to get a little too comfortable. We are not comfortable. We are ready to put this away. We are ready to try and go up 3-0 and get to the second round of the playoffs for the first time in a very long time in Chicago. Come on. I know you guys can find one. We are playing such good. And Yurov gets his second of the game. 2 really far away, awkward angle shots, too. You got to wonder if that gets tipped on the way in or if Spencer Knight just doesn't see it, because that's a really low quality chance from that far away. Okay, we got to reset. 2-2 after 2. Let's see if we can come out and win this third period and win this game. 5 minutes in, we've had a few and Eriksson Ek on the 5-on-3, and Kaprizov, 2 straight power play goals, really kills us here. We were playing really sound hockey. We were killing off penalties, but like I said before in game number 2, Minnesota, so much talent on the man advantage. You can't be giving them chances like that. Can we find one and make this interesting down the final 5 minutes of regulation, as Minnesota looks like they're going to steal a game on the road, where in a series where a home team has yet to win a playoff game through the first 3 games. Okay, we can't find one. We are going into game number 4 up 2-1, and we are going to do everything in our power to try and win this game and avoid going back to Minnesota at 2-2. All right. Early power play or early 5-on-3. Can we please find one? Can we please? And we can't score. James Hagens, second of the series, gets us on the board. We are in business. Now, you're going to have to withstand the push. Minnesota down a goal, down 2-1 in a series, is going to find a way to make a concerted effort to get back in this game. They have been better in second periods as these games have gone along. They have been better in game number 3. It was that massive 2 goals on the 5-on-3 power play that ultimately swung game 3 in their favor. But it looks like we're going to manage to escape the first period up 1-0 on the Hagens goal. Through 5 minutes, we're being outshot here in the second. We got to find a way to withstand this push. Minnesota will keep coming. And Connor Bedard, crucial goal, gets in between the hashes, scores in tight on Volstad, extends our lead to 2. Can we find a third? The third goal has been our secret sauce in these series. We can withstand the push that Minnesota is undoubtedly going to make right now, but we need to find a way to get the third goal that very well could be the put-away goal down the stretch. Another Minnesota power play here. I don't love the penalties we are taking. I'm going to be honest. We do not have the penalty kill personnel to be taking the volume of penalties we are. Can we get through this third period with a lead and extend our series lead to 3-1? Another Minnesota power play here. And are we going to survive? We're not. Joel Eriksson Ek, another one, 2 straight games with a power play goal. And Kaprizov, again, a shorty from Kaprizov makes it 2-2. And we are experiencing Groundhog Day here in game number 4. After 2 straight goals in game number 3 by Eriksson and Kaprizov, they do it again here in game number 4, and Kaprizov again kills us. This has been a nightmare 2 games in the third period for us here at home, where we need to be better. These are far away, low quality scoring chances. And after getting out to a 2-goal lead, again, we blow it down the stretch. We lose in the third period on special teams, which are proving to be the difference here. Between Eriksson Ek and Kaprizov, that's almost all of the Minnesota goal scorers in this series. You throw them two and Daniil Yurov together, that's basically all of the Minnesota goals so far. Boldy had 1 in game 1. Let's see if we can bounce back here in game number 5. We've only won on the road so far. Let's see if we can win another one on the road and maybe prove we don't need home ice advantage after all. Okay, 2 minutes in, no shots. Okay, shot on goal. Good. Let's survive. Let's survive. First 10 minutes, 0-0, please. First 10 minutes, 0-0. We're in good shape. Road playoff game. We've had 2 squirrely third periods that have gotten away from us in a row. Can we prove we're better than this? And look, we're a young team. We haven't won a playoff series in a long time. A lot of the guys on this team have minimal or no playoff experience at all, other than what they got in the simulation last year. A veteran like Giroux who's been around, Bert's been on some teams, Tevu's been on some teams. Donato was on a playoff team not too long ago. But through the first 10-ish minutes of this game, we are at a 0-0 stalemate. We survive a Minnesota power play, which is a good omen for us. We've been getting killed on the penalty kill the last 2 games. It doesn't look like we're going to find a power play goal here. And we are at 0-0. And Oliver Moore, second of the series on Jesper Volstad, 1-0, 11-ish minutes into the first period of game number 5. And it feels like we may have gotten our feet under us to some degree. That arena in Minnesota is loud. It is intense. You get a goal, especially a depth goal like this from Oliver Moore, that gives you something to be excited about. This is a team that is trying to buck expectations, and Minnesota gets on the board. Another sharp angle from distance shot beats Spencer Knight, something that is continuing to plague us in this first round series against Minnesota. If we can get through the first at 1-1, I am more than glad to take that, give us an opportunity to reset in intermission and try and find a way to win this game on the road. Come on, guys. Get through the period, get through the period, get through the period. Okay. Exhale. 1-1 after 20 on the road. good team, 2 straight bad third periods. Let's make it so the third period is a put away period, guys. Let's have a strong second. Let's win this game. It's been really in flurries. All of the scoring in this series has been in quick response, where it has been special teams, 1 goal right after the other as Minnesota gets on the power play again. Can we survive? Can we kill this off? And are we going to squeak through? Come on, get through. Yes, okay. We didn't get burned by Kaprizov or Ek that time. That's great, guys. We're getting outshot. We are getting outplayed right now. We are down 8 shots through almost 30 minutes of play. Another Minnesota power play, and Kaprizov burns us again. We are not going to win this series if we continue to give Kaprizov opportunities on the man advantage. It's not going to work. I got to be honest with you. We have to be better than this if we are going to beat this team. Special teams are proving to be the deciding factor in this series. We got out to a 2-0 series lead, playing really good hockey. And ever since, we've gotten a little too comfortable and we have made a lot of mistakes. We are taking way too many penalties. For Kaprizov to have, I think it's 4 power play goals and a shorthanded goal through 3 games, games 3, 4, and 5, that's just not acceptable. Can we find a goal here and get this game level on the man advantage? Or are we going to go into the third needing to find a tire on the road at Minnesota? It feels like if we're going to win this game, and look, we've played a really solid second period. We were getting outshot really heavily in the first. We have come back pretty strong here in the second, but we're going to need to find a goal somewhere down the line here if we're going to win this game. Can we find one? Can we find one? Can we find one? Okay. Third period, game 5, 2-2 swing. Need a goal to tie, 2 goals to win. Can we find one? I'm going to be honest with you. I was feeling really good after 2 games, and right now I am white-knuckling this controller. Levshinov in tight, and we are tied. We are on the board. In the third, we have a chance. We have played an incredible 25-ish minutes of hockey now since the start of the second period. We are now leading this game in shots on goal. We have come storming back after a first 20 where Minnesota thoroughly outplayed us. We need to find a winner, but right now we are managing to find ways to get control of this game. Can we find a third goal? Can we find a third goal? Can we keep Kaprizov? Can we keep Ek? Can we beat Minnesota Stars from beating us in this series? I want to believe in this team badly. They had a really, really difficult regular season as Quinn Hughes gives Minnesota the lead on the power play. Again, we are taking so many penalties in this series. It is killing us how bad Minnesota's power play is gouging us. We got to find one down the stretch here. I really struggle to think we're going to find a way to win 2 straight. We need to tie this game and we need to drag it to overtime. Can we find a third goal? 7 minutes to go in regulation of game number 5. Can we find a clincher? Can we find a game tying goal? 6 minutes to go in regulation. We are pushing. We have played a really strong game the last 25 to 30 minutes of play. We need to find an equalizer. 4 minutes to go in regulation. We are not getting to the offensive zone. We have 3 minutes to go. We need to get pucks on net. Can we find one? 2 minutes to go. Can we find one? Tyler Bertuzzi, 1:30 to go in regulation. Can we eke this out? Can we drag this game to overtime? 30 seconds to go in regulation. Tyler Bertuzzi gets us to overtime. Okay, guys. Now it's white knuckle. Now it's real. This very well might be our season. I will commentate over. I will talk over the game. I will try to fast forward if it goes too long in post-production so you're not too bored. But let's see what we've got here on the road in game number 5 of overtime. We've got Eriksson, Ek, and Bedard to start the overtime period as Nazar takes a big hit from Quinn Hughes, who drives up the ice and drives to the center lane. Big shot by Matt Boldy gets blocked, and Hughes holds at the point. Teravainen goes back the other way, tries to toe drag along. Faber regroups under pressure from Nazar, continued pressure, and we are in business on the forecheck. Nazar tries to sneak in a quick shot. Bedard in tight on Wallstad, who holds it. A lot of action, 120 into the mix. Can our guys, after finding that huge clutch goal from Tyler Bertuzzi with a minute and a half to go in regulation to force this overtime, can they get it done? Bedard and Ek again on the dot. Ek ties up. Boldy comes across. Boldy crossed the center lane, takes a massive hit, loses his helmet, and the puck is still up for grabs. Ek coming up the far side, taken away. Bedard tries to take on Faber head on, gets the puck poked away. Kaprizov out on the ice for the first time in this overtime period. Ek drives center lane. Nazar regroups. Can the Blackhawks get it down for a change? Oliver Moore driving in on Jonas Brodin. Moore takes a slapper off the pipe. We had a chance. Now, Minnesota coming back the other way. We are doing a really nice job in the neutral zone of clamping down, of forechecking hard. We are about 4 minutes into this overtime period of the all too crucial game 5 in a 2-2 series. Kaprizov regroups, crosses his own blue line, takes a drag, loses the puck in transition. Yurov gets it across to Bobby Brink, who sends it back across to Kaprizov, who gets around a defender into the lane, save, rebound save. Knight makes the save. Korchinski gets it up ice to Oliver Moore. Oliver Moore regroups, takes pressure, loses the puck. Brodin brings it down and sends it along. Boldy on the loose puck. Faber across. A shot by Brodin, save left, Knight, Korchinski up to Matthew Joseph, who sends it to Anton Frondell. Frondell dumps it in and goes for a change. 6 minutes gone by in regulation. A massive hit in on the forecheck as Kaprizov darts up the right side wing. That puck is taken away by Andrei Burakovsky, who gets it out to Bedard, who's on for his second shift of the overtime. Bedard drives the center lane off the post, the second post of the overtime, and another save by Wallstad. We have definitely had the better share of chances. 2 posts, 1 center lane shot. As we come back into a faceoff, Oliver Moore, we get a second look at what was a really strong scoring chance off the pipe. And that puck beat Wallstad clean. If that's on net, we are going back to Chicago up 3-2 with a chance to close it out. A 98-6er off the pipe. Would not have wanted to be in the way of that one. As we come back to the face-off dot, Philip Deneau, a trade deadline addition for the Wild, will be out there against, I believe that is Oliver Moore, but I cannot tell from this angle. Deneau sends it along to Craig Smith. Donato driving. Donato a shot saved by Wallstad. That puck is in the bottom right corner, sent along. Minnesota trying to break out. Deneau holds, sends it up the ice to Lambos. Lambos driving up the right side wall. Center lane poked away by Alex Vlasic. They struggle for the puck. Burakovsky sends it up to Donato, who crosses the red line. Toe drag, a second toe drag. Donato holds, and a weak shot held by Wallstad. 8:13 gone by in this overtime of the crucial game number 5. The Wild loading up, sending out their best. Ek, Faber, Kaprizov, Quinn Hughes, Bedard out there for our Blackhawks. Faber sends it up to Kaprizov, who has been out there for a while. Tied up with Nazar. The puck is forced wide by Nazar. Nazar sends it in. Hughes up to Matt Boldy. Boldy sends it across to Kaprizov, who has been out there for almost 2 straight minutes. Kaprizov to the center lane, and Boldy beats Spencer Knight near side on the backhands. That's a great pass by a player who'd been out there for a long time. That's one. Knight needs help from his defenders. Faber's in there all alone, and that is a superstar level play by a superstar caliber goal scorer in Matt Boldy. We're going to need to win 2 straight going back to Chicago. We had the better of the looks in overtime up till that game winner, but that is an incredible pass from Brock Faber to get that puck across, and there just isn't defenseman help there. You're watching the replay. Vlasic is tied up. The other right-handed defenseman on the ice isn't in the frame. Teravainen's tied up with Eck, and there just isn't a play here. We are entirely out of position, and Boldy roofs one past us on the short side. We got to see if we can find one and force a game 7, because as good as we played in that game 6, the great chance we had, the Oliver Moore slap shot here, is going to ring large over this offseason should we go out in 6 games. That's a real heartbreaker, man. You score a goal with 90 seconds to go in regulation. You force overtime. You ring 2 posts in overtime, and it's not enough. We go to an all-crucial do-or-die game 6 on home ice at the United Center. Can we force a game 7? Alex Vlasic gets us on the board. That's great. That's a really strong start. We needed that. Guys, I really want to go to a game 7. I really would not like our season to end. We've made some really strong moves. We have a very eclectic group of talent where I would like to promote Frondell. I would like to promote James Hagens. I would like to try and start to fade Teravainen and Donato and Burakovsky, but all of those guys have played crucial roles on this team. Bertuzzi forcing that overtime in game 5 gave me a lot of hope. We are up 1-0, 7.5 minutes gone by in the first period here as our Blackhawks try and survive a crucial game number 6 in an elimination situation where if we go out, I will be thinking about that Oliver Moore post until we record next week's episode. 10 minutes gone by here in the first period. Even on shots on goal, the Alex Vlasic tuck, the only one on the sheet so far. I have loved what I have seen from our guys. We have played really well. Minnesota has more talent than us. There is no equivocating. There's no arguing. Between Kaprizov, Quinn Hughes, Faber, Boldy, Joel Eriksson Ek, Jesper Wallstedt, they are a supremely talented team. We are trying to win an uphill battle here as a slight underdog. We had a really strong second half of the season. We withstood 6 weeks without our starting goalie in Spencer Knight. We withstood almost 2 months of no Anton Frondell, a key player in our middle 6. And we once again looks like we're going to get shut out on the power play. Special teams have been so crucial in this series for us. We have lost 3 straight games on power play goals by Kirill Kaprizov, including and if you add the Matt Boldy one in there, that's 3 straight games where Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Boldy, Quinn Hughes, and Brock Faber have decided the game for Minnesota. And that's the conundrum you face when you're the underdog. When they have such a high-end talent advantage, you got to find ways to win on the margins. And Bert's done a great job. We really wish we had Claude Giroux in this series. Giroux suffered an injury after game number 1, and it's been noticeable. He played on the first line. He was over a point per game in the regular season, and we're making do best we can here as Minnesota gets another power play as they start to take an edge in shots on goal, making a push to come back from this 1-goal deficit. We withstand that power play, all too crucial for us. That was not quite do or die, but when you start to get into this environment where it starts snowballing on you and it makes you feel like no matter what you do, that other team has your number, you need to win small battles. Surviving 1 penalty kill does not erase the other mistakes, but it at least gives you something to operate from. 8 minutes gone by in the second period, still limping on that 1-0 lead on the Alex Vlasic goal. Can we find a second one? Can we start to put our feet under us in this game and set up that all crucial game number 7? Now I can't lie. I'm starting to get nervous. I'm deep breathing over here like this. I'm watching a real game. "13 minutes gone by in the second period. Our Chicago Blackhawks leading 1-0 over the Minnesota Wild. The Wild, trailing by 1, have had a majority of the scoring chances here down the stretch after our opening goal. We're really going to try and white knuckle this the whole way, huh? Minnesota, a majority of the shots on goal. You would imagine a majority of the scoring chances. Can we limp through? We are almost at 18 minutes gone by in the second with a 1-0 lead. Can we find a way? We are pushing with less than 20 minutes to go until our potential do or die game 7. 20 minutes between us, the summer, or a game 7. If we get to 5 minutes to go with a 1-0 lead, I will sim and I will live commentate again because that was very fun to do. And I do want to see if we can put this away. We're on the power play, 1-0 lead. Can we find a decisive second goal? It looks like our power play is going to come up dry again. Minnesota, with all of that talent on the back end between Quinn Hughes and Brock Faber and Jonas Brodin, have really given us a hard time here in this series as Minnesota continues to pepper Spencer Knight with shots. We're getting outshot 25-20. We are getting to white knuckle time. 7 minutes gone by in the third period. We are hanging on. An Alex Vlasic first period goal, the only one on the sheet through 50 minutes of regulation time. 10 minutes to go in the third period as the Blackhawks try and hold on to a 1-0 lead. We are getting there. 8 minutes to go. The Blackhawks, a decisive power play opportunity. Can they find a second goal? Can they find a 2-goal lead and find a way to force a game 7? With 6 minutes to go in regulation, a Minnesota power play. The Minnesota power play that has put up ungodly yield in this series for the Wild. Can we kill this off? Can we limp through? Can we get through to the other side? I am going in live, and we will call the final 3 minutes of this game in real time. It must have been a double minor because that 5-on-4 has been going on for a preposterously long time. There is 1 minute and 54 seconds to go. I am going to live commentate this, and I am going to see if our Blackhawks are ready. 2:19 to go in regulation. Blackhawks Wild. If the Blackhawks win, we force a game 7. If the Wild score, we potentially go to overtime, or dare I say, end the Blackhawks season in regulation or overtime. Foligno, a near post. Yurov off the post. Knight barely getting over. The Wild will likely pull their goalie next time they can gain the offensive zone. Frondell fans on the dump-in attempt. Jakob Trenin fans on the clear. Oliver Moore toe drags, drives to the left side circle, takes it to the net, and it's under Volstad who gets it over to Trenin. Now, up the ice to Foligno. Foligno sends it along to Yurov. Yurov to Foligno, driving the net. A near post save by Spencer Knight. The puck is in the right side corner. 3 players fight over it. Minnesota pulling Volstad. Spurgeon a drive. Yurov a drive. Frondell gets the red line, sends it up to Lardis. Lardis in the empty net, and the Blackhawks score the crucial second goal, extend their lead to 2-0. Nick Lardis, first goal of the playoffs, first empty net goal of the series for our Blackhawks as we look to have found at least a game number 7. What a rush. This is fun. I can't even lie. This is a video game, and I'm a little excited over here. This is what it's all about. This is why we do stuff like this. This is incredibly fun. I am finding a way to talk about hockey in the dead of summer. So we'll send Bedard out there to go out against Ek. Kaprizov, Ek, Boldy. I imagine that's Faber and Quinn Hughes on the far side. Hughes sends it up to Kaprizov. Volstad draws. Eriksson Ek a shot. Save by Knight. The puck into the right side corner with Kaprizov. Nazer. The net is empty. Teravainen trying to get past the defender. Deneau loses the puck to Quinn Hughes, who sends it along to Boldy. 15 seconds to go in regulation. Kaprizov driving up the right side boards. Boldy a shot. No. Denied. Nazer up to Teravainen, tries to sneak one by. Kaprizov, 7 seconds to go in regulation. He drives the net. He holds. He fires. That shot is blocked. Levshinov sends it up. Eriksson Ek, and the Wild comeback runs out of time. The Blackhawks forcing a game number 7. Let's see what we can do. For the second straight year, our Chicago Blackhawks are in a do-or-die game 7 as the lower seed. Last year, it was as the second wild card against the heavily favored Avalanche. Now, we actually have a chance here. This is a golden opportunity for us to prove we are ready for the bright lights. If we can go on the road, beat the Wild in Minnesota in a game 7, in a series where we are not the more talented team, and that would say a lot about our character as a group. 4 minutes gone by in regulation, a modest 2-1 edge in shots on goal. Minnesota gets their second shot. Okay. I am nervous. I really want this for our guys. Minnesota's stars have kicked our asses. Kaprizov has been great. Joel Eriksson Ek and Matt Boldy have been great. The Matt Boldy overtime winner in game 5 was nasty. There's just no other way to say it. It was off a great pass from Faber. Him and Hughes are 2 of the 15 best defensemen in the world. When you go to Faber, Hughes is easily the second or even maybe the best defenseman in the world. 10 minutes gone by in the first period. We still sit at 0-0. Minnesota with a decisive 9-4 edge in shots on goal. Can we survive this early push from Minnesota, which I am sure is feeling all of that energy of that Minnesota crowd, which was so deafeningly loud after the Matt Boldy goal that it almost broke the game in my headphones. We are at 15 minutes gone by in the third period with a 0-0 game. Game 6 was tight like this as well. A 1-0 lead from Alex Vlasic goal in the first gave us the lead a majority of the game, and we held on to that until we got that decisive empty netter. Can we get through the first period with neither side drawing first blood? Deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths. 21 and a half minutes gone by in game 7. Still 0-0. Minnesota 16-12 edge in shots on goal. Now, if I were somebody with more free time, I would probably live commentate an entire game. But being that it's late when I'm recording this, I am only going to jump in for the final 10 minutes or so of regulation if it's a close game. Can our power play, which has been so mid in this series, find a way to give us a lead? Guys, I beg, I plead, and it can't. God. We are in the second period. We are almost at the halfway point of a do or die game 7 for both teams. Neither team finding the back of the net yet. 18-17 on shots. So we have come along in this second period and closed the edge. Naturally, you're going to find that. And Ryan Hartman finds his first goal of this series, giving Minnesota a 1-0 lead. Now, we have generally played better coming from behind in this series, and I do think we have a little bit of magic left in us. But if we go down, and James Hagens, again, beautiful position in between the center, in between the hashes, dead center lane of the high slot. 1-1, we are in business. The shots on goal are close. This is a very tight game. It really only might take 2 or 3 goals to win this game. God help me if this game goes to overtime. I really don't want this game to go to overtime. I'm nervous. Come on, guys. Get to the third. Get to the third period here, and let's find a way. Oh, if we can get to the third period at 1-1, I can live with that. If we can get to the third period 1-1, win the period, win the game, win your shift, go back to the John Tortorella, one good shift at a time, one good period at a time. Win the period, win the game. Here we go. At 10 minutes, if it is 1-1 or 2-1, I will jump in and live commentate the final 10 minutes of regulation. This series, which opened with so much scoring and superstars, has been really tight through game 6. And as we go through the final 20 here of game number 7 of round 1 of the Central Division semifinal, we are now at the 45-minute mark. Yeah, 45-minute mark of regulation. 12 minutes on the clock. Can we get to that crucial 10-minute mark at 1-1? Am I going to have a stroke on as I live record my reactions to this? A power play. Please. Can we score? Please. Please, can we score? Please. Please. Our power play is so bad. We need a real number one defenseman. I think that's probably our big weak point on the power play. We don't have that play driver. All right. I'm going to jump in and live commentate the final 9 minutes of regulation. If this goes to overtime and I have a heart attack on stream, I just have to do that for the content, unfortunately. Ooh, center lane drive. The puck behind the Blackhawk net. And Ryan Hartman comes along with it, gets the puck to Trennan. Trennan sends it across to Lambos. Lambos crosses center ice, sends it up, loses it. Hagens sends it up to Boisvert. Into the right side corner, Minnesota recovers. Trennan across the left side, loses the puck on the forecheck and delivers a massive, massive hit. Foligno on the puck now. Boisvert recovers. Lardis on the puck. This crucial empty netter sends one in Wallstad's general direction. Jacob Middleton skates and holds the puck, loses it along the boards. Foligno tries to exit again. Trennan crosses the red line and sends it on in. Wyatt Kaiser recovers, lets it across to Boisvert. Hagens across to Lardis, who loses it at the offensive blue line. Middleton holds, and he loses the puck to Hagens. Lardis, who has been out there for quite a while, loses it to Trennan, to Foligno. Foligno holds as he backskates across and dumps it on in. Kaiser to hold across, sends it on. Boisvert up to Bogosian. Hagens still out there. Lardis still out there, loses it. Kaiser takes a hit. Lardis tries to drive the net, loses the puck to Middleton. Hartman up the right side boards, crosses the offensive blue line, loses the puck for a moment and recovers. Chicago on it. Boisvert still out there for a long time. Kaiser to Hagens. The Blackhawks have a 2-on-1. Lardis loses his shot, blocked. Middleton across to Trennan, who is still out there. Lambo loses it to Lambos again. Foligno across. Foligno tries to cross the center lane. Both these lines have been out there for a long time. Lardis loses the puck to Middleton. Middleton across to Hartman. Hartman to Lardis, who recovers. The Blackhawks and Wild, both teams have not made changes because neither team has been able to get a real clear. The Blackhawks forecheck fully engaged. Middleton holds at the left side. We are at 2 minutes to go in regulation. 2.5 minutes gone by, neither side able to make a line change, and it looks like Chicago has iced the puck. Minnesota will get those all too crucial fresh legs out on the ice. That same Chicago group will try and hold long enough to make a line change. Minnesota's fresh bodies come out. Eriksson, Ek, Boldy, Faber, Kaprizov, and Quinn Hughes. Bogosian recovers a loose puck out of the scramble. Bogosian loses the puck to Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes drives. Quinn Hughes up the ice. A sharp angle shot deflected wide by Spencer Knight. The puck into the left side corner. Kaprizov on it. Thrown a hit. Hughes across for Faber to Eriksson Ek, who takes a short side shot. That shot is saved by Knight. Boisvert up the ice, cannot get a clear. Boldy. Boisvert again loses the puck from a hit from behind. Boldy under pressure, up to Kaprizov. Kaprizov tries to stick handle. Eriksson Ek a drive, shot saved by Knight. 50 seconds to go in regulation. The Blackhawks in desperate need of a line change. Bogosian up to Kaiser, who has been out there for so long. Boisvert loses the puck. The Blackhawks still not going for a line change. Yurov drives the net. A shot blocked by Kaiser. Bogosian up to Lardis. Lardis a drive. That puck goes to the far side boards. Olesen holds. Olesen behind the Minnesota net. Brings it up the ice. Chicago still not going for a line change. This video game is very bad at that. Lardis a drive, manages, loses the puck. Faber drives on Bogosian, loses it to behind to Lardis. Hagens holds. Hagens across the blue line, and this game with 5 seconds, 4, 3, we will go to an all too crucial overtime in a game number 7. 1-1, 60 minutes, 7 games, not enough. Bedard against Eriksson Ek, Boldy, Kaprizov, Hughes, Faber. Kaprizov up the left side boards, takes a hit. Kaprizov recovers, sends the puck along and loses it to Faber. Boldy on the short side from that sharp angle. He scored the overtime game winner in 5. Faber a shot drive, blocked at the net front. Bedard sends it along to Levshinov. Levshinov up to Teravainen. Teravainen across to Nazar, tries to squeak it across, taken away by Boldy. Eriksson Ek a pass up to Kaprizov. Kaprizov gains the zone to Hughes. A save by Knight, getting across. Bedard under pressure from behind, sends the puck across. Kaprizov drives the net in tight. A save by Spencer Knight off the helmet. Levshinov turns it over. Kaprizov in tight. A save by Knight, who holds. Levshinov under pressure at the net front, coughed it up. I hope he does not do that again. Kaprizov will not miss a chance that good twice. That's a really good look for Eriksson Ek there. That's a great save. Spencer Knight has been incredible in this series. Him and Wallstedt have been going toe-to-toe for a while now. Let's see. Chicago makes a line change. Minnesota does not. Chicago rolls with the Donato line. Vlasic recovers the loose puck. Vlasic skating across, gains the blue line, tries to clear Hughes, cannot. Boldy recovers, sends it across to Eriksson Ek. Eriksson Ek up the ice to Hughes. Hughes across to Boldy. Between the legs, loses it and gets around. Vlasic across. Vlasic to Rinzel. Rinzel to Bertuzzi, who takes a beat and holds. Burakovsky across to Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi cannot clear the offensive blue line. Kaprizov still out on the ice, skates up the ice directly at Rinzel, who throws a hit. The puck squirting free to Spencer Knight, who holds. 3.5 minutes gone by in the overtime of game number 7. We are at almost a dead heat in offensive zone time and shots on goal. These two teams locked in what has been largely a stalemate. The puck across, scramble, loose at the net front. Oliver Moore up to Matthew Joseph, who cannot get it across through the center lane. Deneau sends it across to Smith. The puck below the Chicago goal line. Oliver Moore recovers. Knight jumping on that loose puck. Doesn't want to take any chances. Offensive zone faceoff here for Minnesota. It will be Deneau against, I believe that's Oliver Moore. The puck loose in the corner. Deneau holds. Oliver Moore recovers. Sends it up the ice to Anton Frondell. Frondell gains the neutral zone, sends it down, sharp slap shot all the way along. Riley Smith takes it behind the Minnesota net, skating up the ice, looking for Ryan Hartman, gets it across to Philip Deneau. Deneau skating to that center lane, finds a trailer in Spurgeon, a shot, a rebound, a save. Kaiser recovers. Kaiser up to Oliver Moore. Oliver Moore, a big slapper, high up the glass that circles all the way around. The puck up to Bobby Brink, whose slap shot dump in is mildly blocked. Bogosian recovers the loose puck behind the net. Bogosian up to Teravainen. Teravainen sends a dump in that goes out of play. 6:15 gone by in the overtime period. Connor Bedard out there against what I believe is the Jakob Trenin line. Bogosian across to Teravainen, who eats a big hit along the right side boards. Yurov across to Brodin. Brodin threads the needle up to Foligno. Foligno trying to drive the net. That puck squirts free across the center lane. Trenin up to the point to Spurgeon. A weak shot. Spencer Knight's out of the net. The puck blocked. Foligno in the corner. Now behind the net. Levshinov under pressure. Frank Nazar in pursuit, recovers the loose puck, sends the puck up the ice to Teravainen. Teravainen, one man to beat, takes a shot saved by Wallstedt with the stick. Jonas Brodin across the left side holds, sends it along to Spurgeon. His partner jumping up into the rush, sending a slap shot dump in. Levshinov under pressure sends it up to Bedard. Bedard to Teravainen. Teravainen crosses the red line, absorbs a hit from Brodin. Brodin trips over the fallen Teravainen. Brodin gains the offensive line, drives the center lane, winds up for a shot. That shot is blocked. The puck is recovered by Korchinski, who threads the needle to Levshinov. Teravainen, who is out of gas, driving the net, tries to windmill deke across. Lardis, a drive, overtime, game-winning goal. Nick Lardis and the Chicago Blackhawks advance to round number 2 on an overtime game-winning goal. What a sequence from our guys. What else can you say? The Blackhawks getting the job done in overtime on the road in Minnesota in a really hard-fought series where Minnesota stars Kaprizov, Quinn Hughes, Matt Boldy do an incredible job. And for the first time in more than a decade, the Chicago Blackhawks are in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, coming on an overtime game winner. Spencer Knight, so clutch down the stretch of the third period when the Blackhawks' fourth line and third defensive pair could not get off the ice. The Blackhawks surviving an incredibly challenging environment, coming back in the series from down 3-2 off of that Matt Boldy overtime game winner. Lardis recovers on that turnover from Jonas Brodin and the Wild, who played a great game 7. You look at the Jesper Wallstad stats for this series. You outshoot your opponent 41-32. You have a modest edge in time on attack, in passing, in faceoffs. 0 for 2 on the power play. The special teams, crucial in this series. We did it, guys. We got to the second round. Okay. That probably means we're playing Colorado next, which is not great. We've got a date with Colorado. Claude Giroux probably won't be back until at least the 7th or the 8th. But guys, we made it. We advanced. We did better than last year. This was our goal for this season. Our goal going into episode 2 was to make the playoffs and to have an outside chance of going on a run. Now, being that this episode is already at an hour and a half, I am not going to continue simulating through the playoffs. I will, however, continue simming through the playoffs later in the week. I will do it live on stream. I will talk to you guys then, and I hope you are ready to get on this magic carpet ride the Chicago Blackhawks are on, because hockey is coming back. The Theory of Hockey is back for season number 2. I will talk to you guys real soon. Be sure to go check out the Substack. Go play Do You Know Puck at theoryofhockey.com. I will see you guys at the next stream.